Hello everyone, welcome to the Connecting the World show, and I'm your host Muniem Rizvi. Tonight we had a guest. Her name is Jillian, and she's a full-time artist, paint murals, and traveler. And she spent 2 years living and traveling in the Central America and Caribbean, and right now she's in Turkey. So we will ask about her experience, how she feels when she travel from one country to another, and during this time she also faced pandemic situation like COVID-19, all of the world were facing. She also faced that situation. We will ask the experience while traveling in the COVID-19, how she feel, how she survived in this situation while she was not in her country. So without any wasting of my time, I'm going to invite my guests, Miss Jill and Chris. Hello, Jill and Chris. How are you?
We're
Very
good, thank
good,
you. How are
yes.
you?
I'm fantastic, fine. Thank you so much for taking out from your precious time and from your busy schedule. You take out some precious time from me. It's such an honor for me to have you on my show.
Thank you so much
Thank you
for
very
inviting
much.
us.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Okay, Jill and Chris, as you both are artists and you both are traveler and both you paint, so kindly first of all tell us about yourself. Who are you and what are you doing right now nowadays?
Basically, we sold everything that we own in Canada in 2017 and decided to go traveling full time. And when we did that, we didn't really have much of a plan. We just sort of we started in Costa Rica in Central America, and over time, 2 years being in Central America, we sort of fine-tuned the things that we really enjoyed doing, which was art and, of course, traveling and meeting other people. And we started painting murals for hostels and places where we were staying in exchange for accommodation. And that's sort of growing now. We're doing that more and more and more. So right now we're in Turkey. We got here about 5 weeks ago, but we were in Morocco for most of 2020.
Yes.
Okay, so during COVID-19, you were in the Morocco.
Yes.
Yes, we were locked down in Tenerife.
Okay, so you enjoyed the lockdown?
It was all right. Like we were in good hands. Our host was really like he took really good care of us. Like we would paint all day and he would just cook food and do all the renovations around the house and other things like that. So
And yeah, he took care of us. We went there originally to paint a mural for him. It was a hostel, and we got locked down 2 days after we arrived there. So we were supposed to spend a month there, and we spent 2.5 months there. So he got a lot more painting done than he thought he would. But
yes.
we were in a really good place. He made really good food, and it was a nice area of Morocco. So we were
Yeah.
lucky.
Okay, that's good. Okay, now, first of all, can you tell us what's your relation between both of you? Are you husband, wife?
Yes, we're
Yes.
husband and wife.
Ah, that's great. So, as you tell that you in 2017 you sold everything in you back into Canada and you just start traveling. So, before 2017, what was your profession? What was both of you were doing in Canada?
Well, we had a few businesses. I had my own landscaping company and had my own tattoo shop. Well, Jill had her own painting, like house painting business as well. So we worked full time, and our art was more or less our kind of put off to the side, and we would do it whenever we had time.
Mhm.
So yeah, this is definitely a lot better because now we're doing our art well pretty much full time, and we don't really want to do anything else.
Okay, now tell me, who was your inspiration as you started traveling? Is someone inspirational for you, for both of you, or or
Um,
or one thing more, or you both are inspiration for each other?
Well, I grew up traveling as a young lady. My parents took me traveling a lot, so it's always sort of been a part of my life. But when I got into my late 20s and early 30s, it sort of took a side track, and I wasn't doing it for quite a long time. And then Chris and I started dating, and he said that he'd always wanted to travel, but he never really had. So we decided to try it out and see how it would go, and we did. Our first big trip was to Bulgaria, Greece, and Italy in 2015. And we both just he loved traveling, and I knew that I loved traveling, and it was the first time we sort of had a discussion when we were in Bulgaria. We thought, we could probably just rent an apartment here and live here. I wonder what that would be like. So that was kind of, I think, where we planted the seed. And then we went back to Canada, and I actually was watching a movie called Minimalism, which is basically about people having too much stuff. And I had a house. We had a house with too much stuff.
Oh, yes.
And as I was watching this movie, I realized that it was the reason why we couldn't travel as much as we wanted was because of all the stuff that we had. And I thought, if we got rid of the house and we got rid of all our stuff and we just set out into the world, it would probably be, our monthly costs probably wouldn't be that much, and we wouldn't have to pay for house insurance and car insurance and all these other things. So that sort of was the inspiration for doing what we've done.
Got it. That's great. Okay, now let's talk about when you were traveling. Do you use any application or you like a couch surfing or anything that you use when you're traveling, or you just try to make connection? Like if you're traveling from Canada to North America, you have some friend. For example, Chris is your friend, and Chris lives there, so I can call Chris. Chris, I'm coming to North America. Are you available to host me? So you do these kind of things, or you use some kind of application for traveling?
Well, really the only traveling application we really use is like Maps.me and Google Maps. That's just so we get lost.
We do house sitting.
Yes.
So sometimes we'll have a house sitting job booked, and that's online through a website called housecarers.com. And sometimes we'll have a house sit booked, and that will direct where we're going. We house sat in Central America 3 or 4 different times. So we knew we had a house sit in Guatemala, so we'd go to Guatemala and we'd look around until our house sit would begin or whatever. But we haven't gone to any country specifically because we know somebody yet. But we're meeting so many people that we keep saying we got to go visit. So that'll come.
Yes.
That's great. Okay, now let's talk about as you are an artist and you do paint mural. So how you started paint murals and what kind of projects you did till yet?
Well, the first time we actually painted for a hostel. It was in Costa Rica, and we had stopped at this hostel, which we were only going to be there for 3 or 4 days. And the owner of the hostel saw my artwork and asked me if I could paint a couple of scarlet macaws, like a couple parrots on a large piece of wood. And I said, well, we don't really have time for us to get into this right now, so maybe another time. And then we went to Nicaragua, and civil war broke out, so we actually couldn't stay in Nicaragua for 2 months, so we ended up going back to Costa Rica, and we landed back in this hostel. And when pretty much once we saw the owner, we basically said, "Hey, so do you still want that mural painted?" And he's like, "Well, yeah, sure. Here's a couple of pictures of what I want." And we just I kind of drew something out, and that was kind of how it went.
We figured it out.
Yeah.
We were both artists. We didn't have a ton of experience with art paintings. We both were more drawers. We would draw with pencils and pens and those sorts of things. So we didn't have a ton of experience with paint, but we also were house painters. We could paint walls in houses. So, we were able to sort of blend the two and figure it out.
Yeah.
All right, I got your point. Okay, now tell me, if we talk about mural painting, so what kind of paint you use for mural painting? If you're painting on the wall, do you use the wall paints, or do you have some special kind of paints? Because I saw most of the painting were on the wall, and there's a sun, there's a rain. So what kind of paint do you use for painting?
We just use regular house paint. It's the
basic
best.
wall paint.
It's designed for the walls. So it depends on the country. Each country has a different way of doing wall paint. So right now, what we're doing is we have some small tints, like red, green, yellow, and blue tint that we mix into white paint, and then we can make whatever color that we want. When we were in Guatemala, we bought a can of red, yellow, and blue and black. and then we would mix, and white, of course, and then we would mix colors from those paints. So, but wall paint is the best for the mural projects.
No, yeah.
It'll last the longest.
Okay, now tell me about artistic voyages. What is this?
Well, it kind of started out as the idea of being like an artistic retreat down in Guatemala, but
yeah, we wanted to host our artist retreats where we would teach people, not us specifically, but we would get artists to come and teach people how to do art and all that kind of stuff. But then it evolved.
Yeah, yeah. It basically, it kind of followed us around. It's following us around the world, like. Yeah.
Well, we realized the art retreat didn't happen, unfortunately, which is fine. But we sort of realized that what we're doing is an artistic voyage. I mean, we're traveling around the world, and now we're painting murals wherever we go. And even if we're not painting murals, we're doing some sort of artwork. When we were in Essaouira, Morocco, we rented an Airbnb for 2 months, and I went and got canvases and got busy painting because. For me, it's a therapy almost. You know, I really love doing my work as well, of course. So, yeah. But when I was done, we had these 2 big canvases, and I asked the owner of the Airbnb if they wanted them, and they were thrilled. So we left them for others to enjoy. So even if we're not painting murals, we're usually leaving artwork or some sort of creativity wherever we go.
Yeah,
that's great. Okay, now let's talk about as you are right now in Turkey, and do you see some more kind of painting here in Turkey?
Oh yeah, definitely. There's a lot of mural painting to be done here.
Yeah, well, there's lots done. There's lots already.
Yes,
there's a lot of art out on the streets, but also there's lots of murals.
Exactly. A lot of people love in Turkey painting, and I saw in the internet like they love these kind of stuffs. So maybe the place, you are in the right place, and a lot of things you can see and you can do. For like you can show your paintings to people too.
Yes, oh, yes. Yeah, for sure. I should mention with Artistic Voyages, so far we haven't been paid for our murals. We started out as an exchange for accommodation from the hostel owner, and that's sort of how we've continued with it. And we once in a while think to ourselves like, oh, maybe we should be charging for this, you know, but we're really enjoying the process of sharing our creativity. We both feel like it's a gift and it's meant to be shared with people. And the fact that we get to paint on these walls of these places where, you know, hundreds of people will stay in the future, it's brightening the spaces, it's making it happy, and it's bringing joy to people's lives that maybe wouldn't, you know, ever see that kind of art anywhere else, because it would have to be hanging on someone's wall in their house or whatever. So so we really like the concept of gifting our art as opposed to charging for it. So it's something to talk about for sure.
Like it's great, like you don't charge and you say in return you want some kind of residence so you can live there for some time as you are traveling. Okay, now one thing more, I see a lot of travelers who travel all around the world, they make vlogs and put it on the YouTube channel. Are you doing this too?
Yes, we just started getting a little bit serious with it since just at the tail end of Morocco.
Pretty much, yeah.
We got serious with our YouTube videos, and now in Istanbul we've posted four videos so far, 4 vlogs, and definitely I'm enjoying the process. We'll be continuing with that for sure.
Yeah,
that's great. So what kind of traveling you like? Like when you're traveling in one country, so you went to the historical places, or you like to visit some cities which all of the people want to go there, or you want to go to the countryside?
Well, that changes with the area. Like when we left Morocco and came to Turkey, Istanbul here, we actually thought, well, we're small town people. And now we're going to a city of like 12 million people. We probably won't want to be in Istanbul for very long. Well, after 4 days being here, we were like, oh, maybe we could actually stay here for a little while longer. So we looked into different hostels to see if anybody wanted some mural painting, and that's how this came. So we generally try to not travel too fast. We like slow travel. So we like to spend time in one area and like kind of get to know the culture and the locals, local hangouts, and all sorts of other things like that.
Yeah, we're trying to get more of a cultural experience, and we are interested in historical things, and but we don't go out of our way to, we don't like struggle to get to a place. We try to allow things to evolve naturally, and if a day presents itself and we have time to go to a palace nearby or whatever, and it feels right, then we'll go do it. But yeah, we're not desperate to see every tourist site. We're much more interested in meeting people, trying the local food, getting to know the local culture, and in whatever form that takes.
Mm-hmm.
Like you both love to meet people of this country, of the local people, so you can interact a very good in a way, so you will be like part of their family.
Somewhat,
Yeah, it really is a much richer experience. You get invited to dinners at their houses, and you get traditional meals, and you really get to learn more about their customs. So we do prefer that. And also now we're staying in this hostel in Istanbul, and I'll say we haven't met too many Turkish people here, but man, we're meeting so many travelers from around the world, and that's just as much fun. We just sit around in the evening and share stories about our countries and tell each other about our lives and where we're from, and it's very enriching.
Okay, when you went some houses of the people, local people, so you discuss about from where they came, what was their language, these kind of questions you ask to the people who are actually from that country or the city.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, unfortunately, while we speak good Spanish, or sorry, mediocre Spanish and good English, so usually it helps if who we're renting from speaks English, but we also use Google Translate. We've done that with landlords before, where we have to translate every sentence, and it's kind of part of the fun experience of trying to do sign language and figure out what each other's saying.
Yeah. I'm also pretty decent with languages. Like I discovered that once I started learning Arabic, well, the Moroccan Arabic, and I started learning Turkish language as well. We're not going to be here for 9 months probably, so I won't get as fluent, but it's still fun to learn.
Yes, he's great with languages.
Exactly. Whenever you are traveling to some country, you should know their local language, at least for basic things like hello, how are you? You can speak in their language. So whenever you say greetings in their language, they feel so proud, and they greet you so much, like, oh, that's a boy, he can or she can speak our language a little bit, but they tried. So that's what be the wonderful thing when someone speaks your own language.
Yes.
Yeah, it is. It's all part of the experience too. I mean, it's once you can sort of break that barrier and be able to speak a few words of their language, then they treat you more like a local than they would a tourist that's just passing through.
Great. Okay, now tell me one thing. As you're in Turkey, when you go somewhere, what people say when you enter, for example, in a shop or in a restaurant, like if you are in English, so people say, "Hello, welcome to our restaurant." So how they do greet if anyone go to the Turkish restaurant or a hotel or a shop?
Usually marhaba.
Yeah, marhaba is salam is another way.
Welcome, yeah. I mean, in Istanbul, most people speak English here, so we try to speak our little bit of Turkish, but they inevitably
they discover we're English and they just start speaking that to us. So
yeah. So, but yeah, very welcoming. I mean, one thing that is so neat about the culture here, and it was the same in Morocco, is every time, and I'm sure a lot of the Eastern countries are like this, but every time you go into their shop or somewhere, you're offered tea, which that would never happen in North America.
No.
So very rarely anyways. So that's always very nice.
Whenever you go to any shop, they will offer you a cup of tea or a cup of coffee or a water, so that you can sit with them and talk sometime with them. They love to talk with foreigners.
Yes,
okay.
Yes, they do.
Now let's talk about as you are traveling to different countries. So you tried traditional dishes of that country or that city or that area. So which is your favorite dish as you travel 2 or 3 countries?
Oh boy.
According to country, like if you went to North America, what was your favorite dish in that area? When you were in Morocco, what was your favorite dish there as a local dish? Not asking
Right.
about the rice, boiled rice, or noodle, pasta,
Yeah.
Mhm.
something that they eat as their traditional food. So which dish you like?
Well, I would say, like, in Central America, my favorite was the hot sauces we could find in Guatemala. The different chili spices, and oh man, they were just so delicious. Morocco, my personal favorite would be the kefta tagine. That would be my definite go-to meal in Morocco.
Yeah, it's like in Morocco they cook with clay dishes that are called tagines, and the kefta tagine is with meatballs and eggs, like
Eggs and
sort of
tomato
eggs
sauce,
on
yeah.
top and tomato sauce, which is really good.
Mhm.
I would say in Morocco my favorite was the lemon chicken tagine, which is like it's chicken. It's cooked in the tagine as well. It's chicken with pieces of lemon rind actually that they pickle
Yeah.
and preserve, which we don't do in North America. So that would be my favorite. And in Guatemala, I really enjoyed the barbecue. They do all kinds of barbecue out on the streets, and yeah, they have all kinds of really good sauces and stuff you can put on it. So
Mhm.
that'd be mine for sure. But yeah, North America, I think you mentioned North America. We don't really have any traditional dishes in North America. I
No.
mean, we lived in a very small town of only 12,000 people when we lived together before we left Canada.
Mhm.
And in that town, you could go to an Indian restaurant, a Thai restaurant, Chinese restaurant, a Greek restaurant, Italian restaurant. I mean, you can get any kind of food you want from around the world in Canada and the United States. So we don't really have traditional dishes
Yeah.
per se.
Well, you can count hamburgers, I guess, but that's not.
Hamburger.
Hamburgers is kind of a traditional thing,
North
but
American
it's
thing.
yeah,
Like hamburger of McDonald's, KFC, you can eat
kind of like
there.
that. But
Yeah.
generally, if I were to be the one making the hamburgers back home, they would be a lot better than McDonald's and
Yes.
other stuff. Because yeah,
Better ingredients.
Okay.
better ingredients,
Okay.
better
One
spices.
thing
Yeah.
I want to know, as you both are from Canada, so you like spicy food, or you like without spice food?
Oh, we love
We
spicy.
both love spicy food, yes.
Mhm.
But that's not
Really?
everybody does.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Then you should come to Pakistan and try Pakistani food. We have a lot of different kind of spices, and whenever you try Pakistani food, you will say that this is the world best food.
Awesome.
Nice.
Yes, we're definitely going to come to Pakistan.
Oh
Sounds
yes.
amazing.
Mhm.
Sure, sure. Okay, now let's talk about as you are traveling. So you in the early you say that you sold everything back in the Canada. So do you have any regards while you sell everything back in your country?
No regrets. We can hardly remember what we even had.
Yeah.
Now we just travel with our suitcases, and that's everything that we own, pretty
Pretty
much.
much, yeah.
But yeah, no regrets. A lot of people said to us, "Well, you should keep your house and just rent it out while you travel," and we just felt that if we did that, it's something that we would have to worry about. And I think completely letting go of everything and completely detaching has really allowed us to figure out what's important in our lives and what we want to do and where we want to go. And I think when you have possessions and you have things that tie you to one place, you're not really free.
Yeah.
So I think it's that freedom that's really allowed us to explore ourselves and figure out our directions.
Yeah. Yeah. I will agree with
Okay.
that.
And tell me one more thing. Like you both are travelers, so you like solo traveling, or you like traveling with a company of a group of people, like 10 to 15 people travel together from one city to another, or you love to travel solo?
We've always just done it ourselves.
Yeah.
Once in a while, it's nice to sign on to some sort of a group excursion if it's for a specific location that's difficult to get to, or something like
Yeah.
that, or if you're going somewhere where it's really nice to have a guide because they'll give you a lot of information and that sort of thing. And then it's better to go with a group. But as far as actually traveling place to place to place, we do that on our own.
Yeah. We're happy just being with each other. We don't feel the need to always have other people around us, but we don't not welcome other people
Yes.
as well.
We like a mix.
Yeah.
That's great. It was such a nice talking with both of you. In the end,
Mhm.
I would love to say that kindly give some a positive message for a young traveler who want to travel around the world or around their country. If you want some tips, if you want to give some tips to them, Like whenever they travel, they should do these kind of steps so they can't be having any problem while traveling.
I would say keep an open mind and try every bit of food that you can, because it's always a good experience.
Yes, try everything. Keeping an open mind is good, definitely, and just have an open mind and compassion for others. I think a lot of times travelers go to another place and expect everything to be how it was in their country, and they get frustrated because things are slower, or it's too busy, or there's this and this happening. And just to understand you're in their land and you need to respect how they live, and you're there to learn about them. So just be open-minded and patient and compassionate.
Okay, that's great. Thank you so much, both of you. A lot of love from Pakistan for both of you, and best wishes for your coming journey. And hope so we will see you soon in Pakistan as a traveler. So we will meet and we will do something for traveling, like people from all around the world traveling, and they love to travel. And I'm also a traveler, so I would love to meet both of you soon in Pakistan.
That would be amazing.
That'd be
awesome. Can't
wait.
Thank you so much for having us.
Yes, we appreciate that.
Thank you so much. Take care, and thanks again for giving some precious time. Take care. Bye bye.
Okay.
Good
Yes,
night
thank
from
you.
Pakistan.
Bye.
Bye.